Good luck, Adam.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes. Hi.
Bye.
Starbane's Avenue.
Here I come. Stand back. Good luck, Adam. Coming to you live from our houses in Los Angeles, California, it's Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, your comedy field guide to life. Tonight, Mush. Does Paula have what it takes to guide a team of sled dogs across the frozen tundra to the North Pole? Probably not. It's been almost a year since theater shut down. It may be time to take up a new occupation, like polar explorer. Ann Bancroft, one of the world's preeminent polar explorers, who dog sled 1,000 miles and 56 days to become the first woman in history to cross the ice to the North Pole. She's here to tell Paula how to hitch up her huskies and head north. Pull on your mucklucks, Paula, you're gonna need them. Plus, the Department of Corrections. You've pointed out errors in our podcast. We're here to set the record straight. Is white noise syndrome really a virus? Or is it a bad habit? Keep listening to find out. I'm Adam Felber, the man who every week tries to drive our conversational sled due north to the gleaming pole of coherency. And now, please welcome the woman who follows the Aurora Borealis to the shimmering land of topical illusion, Paula Poundstone!
Yay! Well, thank you very much. So nice to be with you guys. And before we begin, I would like to thank our house band, Ansel Norris, trumpeter and multi-instrumentalist.
Ooh, it sounded good.
Fantastico.
Yay.
Yeah.
Whew. I love the trumpet.
Me too.
Goes without saying, given my own personal musical background. Adam, so I'm flying to Massachusetts. Did I tell you that?
No. Yeah, you told me you were flying out of town, so you're leaving here.
Yeah, not right now. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not flying now, but I'm gonna fly to Massachusetts. A friend told me that you have to have a COVID test to fly. So I looked it up on the airline website, and I was kind of nervous, so I might not have focused properly. I thought it said that you had to have a COVID test no earlier than 3 days before you fly. I got an appointment with the urgent care near me. They said in order for insurance to pay for it, you had to see a doctor. So I get there, and a nurse comes in. He says, "Do you want both tests?" And I said, "I'm flying in a couple of days. I just want whatever I need to fly." He says, and he was talking from behind a mask, but also very, very fast. He says, "Do you want both?" I said, "Do I need both?" I said, "When do the test results come back?" And he goes, "Well, the Acme 350 Turbo comes back in 30 minutes, and the RD 259-438, which is what the airlines usually like, comes back in 3 to 5 days." I said, 3 to 5 days doesn't do me any good because the airlines say that you can't do it more than 3 days out from when you travel. So he said, maybe they can speed the results. "Do you want both?" I said, I guess so. And he leaves, and in a few minutes, the doctor comes in, the very fast. Now, what makes him more highly trained than the nurse is that he talks faster. He says,
Okay.
"Hi, Paula, what are your symptoms?" I said, "I don't have any symptoms. I'm just here for a COVID test." He said, "Okay. Has he done the nasal probe yet?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, he will." And then he left the room. That was it. That was my doctor's visit. The nurse comes back in. He does the tests. I go to the front desk. I say, I see a sign, because there was a sign there. I see a sign that says the airlines don't like the 30-minute test, might not accept the 30-minute test. So I say, "How quickly can I get the other test results back?" And the girl says, 3 to 5 days. And I said, "Well, the airlines wouldn't accept it before 3 days. I understand how that works." And
Right.
she goes, "Well, it doesn't." That was her answer. She said it doesn't work. And she said, "That's why when you made the appointment, we told you that so you could go somewhere else." And I go, "Wait a minute. So there are places that can get the 3 to 5 day results faster?" She said, "Yeah." I go, "Well, no one told me that. No one told me that." So I'll tell you what I did, because I'm flying tomorrow. So I bought a home pregnancy test, and I'm going to use that.
Well, that's completely reasonable. But, Paula, it's understandable why there's all these difficulties, because you're obviously the first person who's had to fly since the pandemic hit. So these procedures aren't very clear yet.
Well, you know what? When I looked at the site again, I
Yeah.
think it's actually if you were coming in from out of the country. I have to confess that I think that I don't think it did. I think I got confused about that part. But I'll tell you something. I thought I liked this urgent care. But then I thought about it. I thought, well, this is the place where the doctor told me that time that my x-ray showed that I didn't have a broken rib.
Yes, I remember this.
And I remember she said to me, what I said to the doctor at the time was, I think I broke a rib from coughing. And she goes, oh, you couldn't break a rib from coughing. Then they do a x-ray and she comes back. She goes, nope, you're fine. And then she calls me the next day to say that I did have a broken rib and that it was loose. And she goes, the good news is it's not headed towards your lungs. Do you remember that? And
I remember this whole
also,
incident. Yeah, this was around the time that we were starting up this mighty podcast of ours.
Yeah, it was just before my lung was punctured. It's also the place with the doctor who said I didn't have a bladder infection. And then she came in and talked to me about what else it might be. And then just before I left, she goes, you know what? It is a bladder infection. And then they gave me some pills. And the next day they called and said they gave me the wrong pills. So what I like about this urgent care is that it's near my house.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the idea that I would have to travel a long ways to get this kind of medical assistance would be so frustrating.
Yeah.
So it really works
Arguably,
out
you
good
could go
for
somewhere
me.
else and get better medical assistance, though, right?
Oh, and have no little stories? What are you, crazy?
All
yeah.
right. Well,
So
you know what?
That was my.
That was absolutely worth it, Paula. And I wish you well on
Yeah.
your journey. I'm sorry you're heading to Massachusetts by plane and not cruise ship, because as Tony Anita Hulk can tell you, that's really the only way to travel.
Yeah. And on the cruise ship, you don't need any kind of testing at all. For the cruise ships right now, all they do is a psychological test.
Right.
And
and it's a pretty easy test, because if you would like to go on a cruise right now, you definitely are in no condition to go mentally.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. How bad do you want this? And the people go, oh, right now. So
All right. Well,
there
you know
have
what?
that.
Speaking of cruises, we have to move on to our own seafaring adventure, which is our Moby Dick book club.
Oh, yes.
Now, Paula, we have a very full agenda tonight. President Ken Lezevnik is in Brooklyn, and he has, I'm very proud to announce this, he has designated me President Pro Tempore.
Pro tempora?
Tempore, like President Pro Temp.
You're President Je t'aime. You're President Pro Tempura. I like that.
Yeah, it's President Pro Tem, but he has, I'll accept your answer too. He has sent me this gavel.
He's fried.
The book club's gavel, so I'm calling the meeting to order.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah. Order. The first item on our agenda is our book club theme song. Okay. Even though Bonnie put forward a song, we now have another contender. Nobody Tim Crump, one of our house bands, sent in a theme song for us to consider. Land Romo, will you roll the tape for us?
2020 was awful, it made Tony blue. So let's start an adventure to make this year new. 'Cause Captain Crinkle keeps looking at all of the butts. We must do something so Adam won't go nuts. Paula, what should we do? Let's start a book club. What should we do? We'll start a book club. For me and you, we'll start a book club. What book should it be? With so many choices, there's a Gallimard free. We'll start a book club. What should we do? We'll start a book club. For me and you, we'll start a book club. What book will it be? With so many choices, there's a Gallimard free.
Wow.
Wow.
It's
Thank you,
brilliant.
Tim. You
That was
really
fantastic, Tim.
captured, really captured the personality, I think, of the book club. Thank you. In a way that Bonnie's song, Lose a Leg, I'm not sure really did.
Yeah, as we pointed out last week, Bonnie's song was more of a reading Moby Dick at the theme club theme song, at the book club theme
Yeah.
song, whereas Tim specifically gave us a theme song so that when we're done with Moby Dick sometime in the year 2025 and we pick another book, Tim's theme song will still be relevant.
Yeah. Bonnie didn't seem to have any idea that you read more than one book in a book club, unless, of course, you crack over the first book and have to quit. Is it...
All right, well, order, Paula. Order.
Sorry.
Order. We have several more items to get through here. Second on our agenda, a report from our treasurer, Paula Poundstone, on her efforts to get Pod Save America's Jon Favreau to join our club.
Well, no, that's our membership outreach, Mr. President. Mr. President, right now I'm just giving my treasury report. I will follow with, and also, I'd like to put it in the record. This week, we lost money on our bake sale, and we had a lot of leg-shaped cookies left over. Honestly, no one even stopped by the table that was at the entrance to the 405 freeway from Wilshire during my shift, and Tony didn't show up for her shift. She said she was reading, so I just packed up and left. And while I was packing up, the wax paper bags that I put the cookies into blew onto Wilshire Boulevard. One or two blocked a guy's windshield and caused a wreck, and I'm waiting for those figures.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you, Treasurer Paula Poundstone. Order. Now, Paula, it sounds like our fundraising efforts each week cost us a little more money to run this book club.
Yeah, we really are. We so far we are in the red. I have to get I have to get the rest of the figures from the police to know how far in the red we are right now. But fortunately, on the upside, I am continuing our membership outreach.
Okay.
Are you ready for that report?
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. Order. The chair is ready to hear your report, Paula.
Thank you, Mr. President. On membership outreach, I've tweeted multiple times to Jon Favreau from Pod Save America, who specifically said on their New Year's episode that he wanted to read more. And I have not yet heard back. That could be my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that he had the morning shift at the bake sale table. That could have been not, maybe not the right approach. But still waiting to hear.
Okay. Yeah,
so
assigning
if we
him
have
a job
any
before
listeners,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, he does have a job, but, we all have jobs, Adam. The book club is something that we just do for pleasure.
Yes, but once again, if I was being asked to join a club, and one of the first things I was asked is, will I help run a bake sale on the exit ramp of a freeway, I probably wouldn't join that club.
Yeah, well, you're a lot like Jon Favreau.
Yes, I guess I am. All right, order, Paula. Order. I want to reach out now to our publicity. What is her title? Bonnie Burns' title, our PR manager?
What am I?
Well, isn't that a good question?
Wow, we gave you a title.
You were the oh no, I was the fundraiser. You gave me fundraising.
Yes,
right.
That's right. I believe what's called the
Adam
Capital Campaign. Yeah,
right.
Adam
You're running the Capital Campaign, so order for God's sakes, everyone. Order. Let's reach out to Bonnie Burns, and Bonnie, how are our fundraising ideas coming along?
Oh, okay. Well, I said in our last meeting, our last show, that I would have an idea for the fundraiser. And
Point of order. We have to establish that. Will our secretary, Tony Anita Hull, read back the minutes to see if Bonnie did indeed say that?
She might have been too busy Googling.
She did say it. Okay, confirmed. Order.
Confirmed.
Damn it.
I can tell she had an idea because the lights in my house dimmed a little bit a couple days ago.
All right, Bonnie, what's your idea?
Okay, so these were my ideas, but I'm, throwing it out to the floor for discussion. The one thing, I'll just do a little Captain Crinkle thing here, which is, it dovetails into this. I was reading something about how to make your book club more fun. And one of the suggestions, by the way, was to keep the book under 300 pages. So we kind of lost a little there.
Well, there's no way in this world that Tony's going to read more than 300 pages, so I think we're good there.
Okay. Another one was to come up with a book club name. So just put a pin in that for a second while I tell you the idea I had. So I was thinking about T-shirts. I thought nobody's might like, to buy a T-shirt, get a T-shirt, and we could put it on the paulapoundstone.com website. But I don't really know. I thought we could brainstorm like what should be the T-shirt, what should be on the T-shirt. So one idea. This wasn't a T-shirt idea, but I was going through Facebook and somebody, actually, it might have been Tim Crump, who put an idea out that we should make a T-shirt that had on the front, Adam's on every show with a headset on, and on the back, God damn it, Bonnie. I'm not saying that should be the T-shirt that we do for the book club, but I'm just
I like that idea.
Putting that out there.
Mr. President, if I could have some of Bonnie's minutes.
So noted, yes.
That T-shirt is on a whole nother topic, and that's not the topic we're discussing at this time. That would be a podcast T-shirt. We are talking about the book club within the podcast T-shirt, which is going to be in a whole different.
Absolutely, order. So what you're saying is Bonnie has introduced an idea and then gone off topic while introducing it.
It would appear that way. I hate to say it.
I hate to say it too, but Secretary Tony Anita Hull, can you strike the last few sentences of Bonnie's from the record?
Didn't we have we had T-shirts for the podcast, didn't we?
No,
yes.
we did. But this
Are we still selling
okay.
those or not?
Here's a
And how much
suggestion.
did we
Right
make
now,
on those, Bonnie?
It
Captain
doesn't
Crinkle,
matter because now we're in a position with our new podcasts that we could come up with our own T-shirts and sell our own T-shirts. You're off topic. Mr. Pro Tem, whatever you're called, she's off topic.
Okay, I have some ideas, pro tempore. I have some ideas for.
You can just call me president.
Yeah,
can
Mr.
just call me
President,
president.
I have some ideas for what we could put on the book club T-shirts.
All right.
Okay.
Here's one line of text. If you don't want to see Jon Favreau, this is the club for you.
I like it.
Yeah.
I have one. You don't know Dick until you've heard Paula's dick.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
Again,
hate that.
it's very Moby Dick specific.
We're going to be on Moby Dick forever.
No, we're almost finished with Moby Dick.
Are we?
We're easily 1/30th through. Here's one. Here's one. The book club where you don't have to lie about what you read. That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Because
that's very good.
Because
I like
Tony
it.
just comes out. Tony not only says she didn't read, she bloody dares us to make her read. She says stuff like, "I'm not doing this."
That's absolutely true.
Here's another one. Join the book club, no cover. Here's a good one.
Nice.
That nobody listens to Paula Poundstone. Book club. What's stuck in your ear?
Oh, that's nice.
That's good.
It's a nice, clever reference to Bonnie Burns getting a silicone ear pod tip stuck in her ear, right?
Yeah. Just, for people that. Here's another one. Be the high school student you always meant to be. That's a good one. And another one is slow readers welcome.
Nice. These are all great. How about
what I
the
got.
first rule of book club is nobody talks about book club?
No. All right. Well, that's
How do we decide? How do we
wait,
decide?
Tony. Wait. Tony Anita Hull. What's your suggestion?
Mine was gonna be "fuck you, Jon Favreau." Parentheses. Pod Save America, Jon Favreau, not Marvel's Jon Favreau. Just
Wow.
to be clear.
It's very rare to find a T-shirt with footnotes, but Tony Anita Hull, by golly, you've created one.
Yeah, that's more of a hostile. That's why Tony is not on the membership outreach team.
Yeah. She's got a lot of rage, an underrated amount of rage.
I'm not sure
with-
that's
with-
the right way to get him to join us.
I would say it's probably counterproductive. We have a suggestion from erstwhile President Ken Lezebnik. He proposes a T-shirt design which features his image and the message "President for Life."
Oh. That's a good one. By the way, Ken is Ken right now. He keeps saying he's in Brooklyn. He's not in Brooklyn. He's been spotted at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Our former president's home is being visited by our book club president right now. That's interesting. Hey, here's a
that
suggestion.
may be where he came up with that idea of president
Here's a
for
suggestion,
life.
if I may. Why don't we have our listeners suggest book club T-shirt ideas?
Sure. We're open to what?
No. Well,
Go
I
ahead.
really liked your first one that you said. I think it was the very first one. I thought it was funny, and I would like to get the T-shirts up and going because we
Okay.
need money to fund the book club.
This is
Well, that is true. What
she
was
is
your
a
first suggestion again,
driving
Paula?
I think
the
it was
first
the first one.
The first one was if you don't want to see Jon Favreau, this is the club for you.
No, that wasn't it.
Okay. Oh, for heaven's sakes.
What was the next one?
I don't know. The next one was the club where you don't have to lie about what you read. Wasn't
no,
that
wasn't
either?
it.
Okay.
That wasn't so good.
Oh my God. She doesn't
Okay.
listen.
I do.
No, you don't. That's
Yes,
that's
I
why we're
do.
gonna go with what's stuck in your ear.
Join
Okay.
the book club, no cover.
No. Okay, let's do this.
Okay, then it couldn't have been the first one.
Well, I guess I was wrong about it being the
That's
first
the
one.
first four.
It was the
right.
one I laughed really hard at. Why don't we decide
Order.
over this
Order.
week, and we'll announce it on next week's
Bonnie,
show.
order. We're going to decide at another date and announce it on next week's show if we have an answer. But for now, I'm going to close the business of discussing the T-shirt. Let's open for our last item of business. Moby Dick, chapters 23 to 28. It is the sense
think
of
we're
the
out of
chair,
time.
the President Pro Tem, that we do not have the time to, let me say that again without Bonnie interrupting. It is the sense of the chair that we do not have the time to discuss those chapters this week in book club. So chapters
darn.
23 through 28 will be discussed next week.
Best day of book club ever.
Is this what? Is this when we break? Is this when we break for the snacks? That are
Yes.
Don't they always have that on book club, and we rotate who provides them?
Who
Well,
brought the snacks this week?
I have some
I
day-old leg-shaped cookies.
All right. I hereby call this meeting of book club to a close. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and hopefully we'll get to Moby Dick next week. Okay, Paula,
Thanks,
let's move on to
President
vocabulary words.
Tempura.
Thank you. It's not tempura. It's pro tem or tempura.
You
It's not
said
tempura. Tempura is Japanese fried food.
I know what it is.
It's Adam is President Je t'aime.
Oh, thank you, Paula. That's very sweet.
Je t'aime.
Paula, do you have a word this week?
I do, Adam. It's lubber.
Lubber.
It's a noun that means heavy, clumsy, stupid person. Here, I'll use it in a sentence. Hagrid's half-brother Grop was a heroic lubber. You know, Adam, I thought Miss Nancy did such a good job with the vocabulary song last week that I've asked her back to do it again. Do we have Miss Nancy on the line?
Hello, Miss Nancy. Are you on the line?
Hi, Paula and Adam Felba. It's me, Fairbanks Elementary School second grade teacher, Miss Nancy, and I am ready to perform this week's vocabulary song.
Well, Miss Nancy, it's really great to have you back. How's the distance learning teaching going?
Oh my God, Adam, it's so hard. It's not
Is it?
healthy for kids to sit in front of a computer for so many hours.
Right.
They even have their PE on Zoom. Coach Stitches has the kids doing yoga. I tell her, I say they need to be up and running around yoga. Yoga's not good for kids. Russell got his knee stuck over his head. Now his mother and father are suing the district, but only after they got a shitload of viewers on TikTok.
That sounds awful.
It's terrible. I can't even eat a pretzel without thinking about that kid.
Miss Nancy, do you want me to sing the vocabulary song?
Oh, I almost forgot. No, Paula, I'm here for you. Here we go. This week's word is lubber. It's a noun that means a heavy, clumsy, stupid person. Once you've called a friend that, your relationship may worsen. Last week's word was ubiquitous. It's an adjective that means present, appearing or found everywhere. So many men are growing facial hair. The week before that, the word was obstreperous. It's an adjective that means noisy and difficult to control. Mo won't stop barking at people when they stroll. Going back before that, the word was evanescent. It's an adjective that means, I had it a minute ago, I can almost see it. Smells like Evan. No, that's not it. Oh, quickly fading from sight, memory, or existence, like Ted Cruz reflecting on the time they tried to kill Pence. And not long ago we had rictus. It's a noun that means a fixed grimace or grin. I'm happy for the best actress even though I didn't win. Let's never forget Gallimaufry, which Paula pronounced wrong until nobody James Hyder corrected her. It's a noun that means confused jumble or medley of things. Hodgepodge, who's podge, hodgepodge. Adam doesn't think Paula's song is replicable. Replicable, replicable. Shake it, Miss Nancy, but I do, I do, I do, I do.
Wow. That was really special, Miss Nancy. Thank you for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You know, it's so good to just come on here with you guys and just cut loose. You know, you can't really do that when you're teaching online. You can't really cut loose, you know?
No, you really can't. It's frowned upon. But I do thank you for stopping by. And definitely call again sometime. I love hearing you sing the vocabulary song.
Thank you so much, Adam Felber. That's so nice of you.
And I love being spared the Glockenspiel.
Now that cuts deeply to Paula. You know, she works at that Glockenspiel.
I know. I do know that, but I'm
not going to tell her that you said that.
Oh, no, please don't. I value my relationship with Paula. Coming up, Polar Explorer Roald Amundsen said, adventure is just bad planning. We'll find out if Paula's up for an Arctic adventure. That's next on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone.
Hey, me and Adam are on the Stereo app. All right, it's a goofy little app on your phone where you make an avatar of yourself using their buttons. And so a little avatar of me comes up and a little avatar of Adam comes up. And we just have conversations. We pick a topic, and listeners can call in and add in their comments. What have we done, Adam? What topics have we done so far?
Recently, we just covered horror movies that really messed us up, movies that really, really scared us. And the great thing about what I'm really loving about the Stereo app is that it's not just that you and I get to talk. It's like a phone call with avatars, but we get to play the calls of everybody else live and I love our podcast, Paula, but it's great to have the opportunity to have characters talking to us who aren't played by you.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah, it's great to get a chance to interact a little bit with our listeners. And by the way, all right, so I picked the topic last week, which was scary movies that changed your life. And then so I talked about a couple of the ones that did this for me, made you have to sleep with the lights on for years or something like that, right? Made you never able to sit comfortably on the toilet again. Maybe, made you duck every time you saw a bird, that kind of thing. And then listeners started calling in. I don't think I had seen one of the movies that any one of the callers talked about.
But now you know all these movies that you're going to avoid lest you be terrified by them. All right, so join us on the
That
Stereo.
I'm never going to see, right?
It's really easy to do. Here's what you want to do. Go to stereo.com/Adam Felber or stereo.com/Paula Poundstone, and then you can follow us and you'll get notified on your phone whenever we go live so you can join right in. I don't know about you, Paula Poundstone, but I feel like I'm always looking at a screen nowadays, more than ever. And whether you're an avid news watcher or in serious need of distraction, unplugging yourself is easier said than done. One of my favorite ways to rest my eyes and still get the content I'm itching for, like, say, podcasts, it's by putting in my Raycon wireless earbuds and listening to something great.
Whether you're catching up on your favorite news podcast, binging an audiobook, or powering through your workout with a pumped-up playlist, a pair of Raycons can make all the difference. Why aren't you listening to Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone? That's what you should be doing.
Well, you know what? I do listen to Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone with the Raycons, and I listen to like all the other podcasts that I listen to or have been meaning to catch up on. Here's something cool about it, Paula. Something I've noticed is if I want to listen to podcasts late at night, I don't want to wake up Jeannie next to me in the bed, I put in the Raycons. And you know why I put in the Raycons rather than regular earbuds?
No.
I'll tell you. Because there's no wire hanging out. There's no clips hanging off. So that if I fall asleep during the podcast, if I nod off, I'm not going to stab myself in the ear or strangle myself with a cord.
That's one of the advantages. No shameful dangling wires or stems to get in your way here. Raycons come in a range of stylish colorways, but also with a comfortable in-ear fit for a more discreet look. Raycons are built to perform anywhere and anytime with water and sweat-resistant construction and Bluetooth that pairs quickly and seamlessly.
Connected. And with enough battery life for 6 hours of playtime, you can unplug for a while. The best part, Raycon makes great sound accessible to everyone, with wireless earbuds starting at half the price of some of those other premium audio brands.
Raycon's offering 15% off all their products for my listeners. And here's what you've got to do to get it. Go to buyraycon.com/Paula. Well, that's not
it.
hard.
That's not hard. You get 15% off your entire Raycon order, so feel free to grab a pair and a spare and a gift for the kids. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/Paula. BUYRAYCON.com/Paula.
Easy peasy. On this day in unremarkable history, J. Edgar Hoover said, "I'm watching you."
Hey, Paula Poundstone, you know what I've heard? I've heard that performance venues are closed nowadays.
Yeah, this just in.
And it's just striking me that might make things difficult for a comedian such as yourself.
Well, I've tightened my belt. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
No, I got to find something else, Adam.
Like what? What could you possibly find, Paula?
I had this great idea.
What's that?
On a bright, shiny day in Santa Monica, while I was walking my dog, I thought maybe I could be a polar explorer.
Well, I can see how Santa Monica might inspire that in you. Unfortunately, we have a legendary polar explorer with us on the phone who can help see if you're up for that kind of job. Yes, it's time for Career Corner, where we learn about the wide world of jobs. Would you like to be a fireman? How about a train engineer? Maybe you'd like to make a living as a spot welder. What can you do with your life? Career Corner has the answer this week. Let's explore a career mushing dog sleds to the North Pole. Here to help Paula discover if she could cut it in the stressful, high-stakes world of polar exploration is Ann Bancroft. She dog-sled 1,000 miles and 56 days as part of a team of 8 in the first confirmed dog-sled journey to the North Pole without resupply. She led a 67-day, 660-mile expedition to the South Pole on skis, earning the distinction of being the first woman in history to cross both polar ice caps to reach the North Pole and South Pole. Please welcome Ann Bancroft.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ann.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being with us and for sticking through technical problems to do it.
Well, I'm used to technical problems.
Yeah, you must just brush them out of the way like so many cookie crumbs. A person who's done all the things that you've done. And I'd like to put together a dog sled expedition to the North Pole. I want to become a North Pole influencer if I could. And I'd like to bring my dog Mo. So where do I start? What are the steps?
Well, I think the first step is to figure out what kind of dog is Mo.
She is part Newfoundland and part Golden Retriever.
Oh, well, not bad for polar. A little furry.
She has 6 toes. Does that help?
Yeah, because if you lose one, you got more.
Yeah.
How likely is she to lose a toe out there?
Oh, very.
Oh wow.
Really? Dogs lose toes all the time?
Well, not so much the dogs. It's the two-leggeds that have the problem.
So, speaking of the two-leggeds, what are the qualities and qualifications you look for when putting together a team for an expedition? I mean, and also, how do you decide how many people you need?
Well, looking for what the qualities that you really want is somebody that can be by themselves a long time. Because if you can just imagine, you have a face mask on, it's 70 below zero, you're in single file, and you're doing the hardest work of your life. So there's no talking. It's too cold. It's just hard to get heard. So you gotta that solitude thing. I'm not sure that's your bag.
Well, to be honest with you, the fact is, when I was on the road, the majority of my life was alone, because alone in a hotel room. I mean, it's okay sitting on an airplane, but I didn't generally talk to the people on the airplane. Every now and then I would engage in a conversation, but mostly, in fact, I was alone.
Well, there you go. You surprised me. So that's why we do interviews.
Right.
Yeah.
But what else does she need besides being able to be alone? And by the way, I would assume that Paula talks only a little bit less when she's alone.
Well, I talk to myself too, so it's you got to self-entertain. You have to be able to have that personality that puts one foot in front of the other for a long time and not see a lot of changes.
All right. So where do I start even in the organizing of the expedition?
Well, once you get your team, it starts to get easier from there. You know that you're going to need 7,000 calories a day. And a lot of it has to be fat. So you plan your diet. It has to be simple and high calorie, high fat.
Did you say 7,000 calories a day?
Isn't that repulsive?
It's amazing. Like, isn't a normal adult supposed to take in something like 2,100 calories a day?
Yeah, I'm on a polar diet all the time, unfortunately, but
I feel like I have been most of my life as well.
Yeah. And it's the COVID thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that I learned after doing a lot of cold weather expeditions is that first week you come up, you're sort of fat and sassy, but your diet is still 7,000 every day or 6,000, whatever you decide. And you eat at night really fast, and then usually you get into your sleeping bag and lie down. And if you don't need all those calories, it starts to creep up, and you find yourself in a hot sweat, sitting up in your sleeping bag really quick to bring it back down.
Oh, like you're going to throw up, you mean?
That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
These are just little tricks.
This is the life for me.
Yeah.
All right, so
I don't know why I brought that up.
You brought that up. So, all right, so you get your food. Our engineer Land mentioned earlier that Mariah Carey has these really good cookies.
Uh-huh.
What are the best kinds of foods to bring to get this 7,000 calories?
Well, on the North Pole trip, we decided to go really simple, and we had a fairly disgusting diet. it worked, but it was something I never wanted to repeat on any other expedition. So it was, we would have a pot of noodles at night with a lot of butter
I love
and
that.
cheese. That part was really good. And then they dumped in a meat called pemmican. And it's about 70% animal fat or lard, a little bit of meat, and some berries.
Oh.
It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds gross. Is that why you eat fast? Because it's just not the stuff you want to really tarry over?
Well, you don't want to procrastinate because it freezes up in your bowl.
Oh,
wow.
Now, is it because
Everything
it's
freezes.
cold that you're burning that many calories, or is it because of the extreme amount of exercise required to trudge through that stuff?
That's a great question. It's both. It's the hard work during the day. It's 8 to 14 hours on our feet, pushing sleds, and then you're just shivering all the time.
Oh, so the shivering is burning calories. That's interesting.
Oh, it's just,
so
it's,
how about I'm sorry. How about Butterfingers and Doritos? How's that as a polar diet?
well, not very nutritious. So it would taste really good.
Yeah. Well, Butterfingers used to taste good. So I'm assuming then that you're trying to get calories, but also helpful foods.
Yeah, we're not
so
going to
that
get we're not going to get scurvy, but we've got to get the right kind of calories in.
All right. Well, that's disappointing, but okay. And what else do you have to plan?
We have to plan precisely how much food. We can't take too much because we've got to carry it. And then we have to plan how much fuel is needed to cook that food or melt ice for our water. That's probably the most critical thing that we bring. There's no firewood, so you've got to calculate.
Wow.
All right. So you were a part of a team of 8 that dog sled 1,000 miles in the first confirmed dog sled journey. That's confirmed dog sled journey. There might have been some that nobody knew about to the North Pole without resupply. Are you carrying backpacks or is all the equipment on a sled?
All the equipment is on the sled. The only thing, Paula, that you need to know that might dampen your spirit a little is we don't ride the sleds.
Oh. Oh, no.
We have to
figured.
help push as well.
Uh-huh. And how many dogs is it?
10 dogs per sled.
And how many sleds?
We had 5 to start with, ended with 2.
Oh.
Oh, because you ate the food?
Yep.
What'd you do with the sleds?
We chopped them up and burned them.
What'd
for
you
a
do
little
with the dogs?
toxic heat. The dogs were just happy to have less weight to pull.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
We don't
You know-
eat the dog.
Good to
No.
know. Good
Oh,
to know.
no.
Thank you.
I didn't think that for a second.
I did.
All right.
Well, in the old
So-
days, they used to.
Oh, did they? Oh, boy, that'll ruin a Disney movie.
That was good.
Uncool running.
I just said to my dog Sirius tonight, I was stepping out of my bedroom and he insisted on coming in the kitchen with me. And I said, it's so lovely to have a companion. It's so Disney of you.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like I was doing anything in the kitchen that he wanted to be a part of. He just thought it was important to stand beside me while I did whatever it was.
Yeah, they're awesome.
All right. They are.
I agree.
So, is there, do your dogs wear booties and stuff? What do you do? So, wait, let me back up a little bit. Where do you sleep?
We sleep 4 people per tent. And
How many dogs
sometimes,
per tent?
The dogs sleep outside.
Do they?
They're very amazing. They curl up into a little ball. And even in a storm, the older dogs will just stay put for 3 days, not get up or pee or eat or anything. And the snow that lands on them is like a little igloo.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And they put their tail over their nose and they lift, they sort of turn their paws upwards. So they're very smart about the cold.
Uh-huh. And nothing that, well, how much training goes into that? Were the dogs already trained and then you joined in, or were you part of the training of the dogs that went on your expeditions?
We all train together. They're just like us. They have to want to go. They have to kind of make the team. So we had probably about a little over 100 dogs in our training camp. And then we whittled down to 50. Well, 49. One jumped ship.
Wow. Okay, so what about you guys? What training do you do for the trip? The two-legged travelers.
Well, we skied and ran and worked dogs, and we lived in a northern Minnesota, just outside of a town. It was 40 below on average, and we lived in tents, and it was kind of,
wow.
I don't know if it was the greatest way to train, but it made for a long year.
Yeah, sure.
How long did the training process go on?
Well, it went on for a couple of years, but the really intense part was 10 months.
A couple of years. And how do you know you're ready? Just because somebody in the group, like Tony with our book club, goes, fuck it, I'm not going to do this anymore unless we just go now?
No, the leaders just say this is when we're going.
Oh, okay. So there's no benchmark that people have to have achieved in order to be ready.
No. I was just really lucky because, it was originally an all-men's trip. And then they decided they were going to add 2 more people and make it 8. And one of the leaders said, it's the 80s. Why don't we add a woman? It might help for fundraising.
Oh, for fundraising. Wow.
Yeah. And it's not the window it's not the way you like the window open, but you just take it.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Was it Mondale? Is that who the the leader was?
Well, I wish Mondale was the leader. He would have.
Oh yeah, he's from your home
much
state,
more
right?
Equitable.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Mondale Ferraro? Am I right? Was that the?
That's right. You're spot on.
So he was the one that decided, hey, a woman might be a fun idea.
Also a Minnesotan, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, sounds like it. Adam?
Yes.
What did Absolute Cherry Garage say?
I was just getting to that. Polar explorer Absolutely Cherry Garage said, polar exploration is at once the cleanest and most isolated way of having a bad time which has ever been devised. We'll discover more qualities of polar exploration when we come back. The cat of the week is Charlie Stickers from Fort Worth, Texas.
Is there something interfering with your happiness? Let me put that another way. Is there anything that isn't interfering with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals? You know what? It's a tough time. All the isolation, all the stress. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise offered, which may not be locally available in a lot of areas.
You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule a weekly video or phone session so you won't ever have to, this is my favorite part, you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy.
BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need to. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid, it's available.
BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. You deserve that. Visit betterhelp.com/Paula. That's better, HELP, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional.
In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp, and who could tell why these days, that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Paula.
Do it. Stress, sleep, recovery. These things shape how we perform. The stress alone is crushing me like, what is it, a mortar and pestle?
Yeah,
so
that'd be the
I
thing.
have Newcom on my phone, and it has this kind of music and soundscape that I don't know. They explain it better than I can explain it. But it connects up with, I don't know, certain brain waves or something to give you just the kind of relaxation that you need. And it is effective. One thing that I've added to my daily routine, and it's helped make a noticeable difference for me, is Newcom.
Stress is unavoidable, and it's imperative to your health and happiness to be able to manage it and not be managed by it. Newcom gives you the power to slow down, get some distance, which will allow you to respond better to the demands of everyday life. Now, Newcom accomplishes this by interrupting acute stress at its source and by bringing you into a calming brainwave pattern that's associated with relaxation, greater awareness, intuition, and it provides a calming sensation. Newcom is clinically proven in over 1 million sessions to improve your sleep, reduce your stress, and boost your recovery without drugs or side effects.
I'll tell you, part of what's been stressing me out is doing those 1 million sessions. The Newcom system uses cutting-edge neuroscience and consists of 3 non-invasive and non-pharmaceutical items, all of which are included in your monthly subscription that costs less than a daily cup of coffee. The whole process is easy to use and to work into your daily routine to achieve better sleep, reduction in stress, and boost in recovery.
Own the day with Newcom and make 2021 the year you manage your stress better and more effectively. We have a special link set up specifically for our listeners. Go to paulanewcom.com and get 50% off your 30-day subscription of Newcom and their money-back guarantee.
That's Paula, NUCALM.com. Paula, NUCALM.com. Stress, you're not the boss of me.
And we're back with polar explorer Ann Bancroft. Paula, you had a question.
I did. You know, when Mondale came to you and said we want to bring a woman along, and why you? Why not Ferraro?
Well, I think he did a little background check on me, and turned out he knew my climbing partner on Denali in Alaska, and he asked him, "What's she like when the chips are down?" And he said, she keeps her sense of humor. And I think that was my way in.
Oh,
Fantastic.
So that I don't know if I would keep my sense of humor when the chips are down, but I feel that my record in the area of sense of humor is strong.
Yeah.
So that I got that going for me. Now, the other thing is, what did you say it was? How cold was it again?
Well, when we started off, it's early March, and the sun is just not up at the part of that curve of the Earth, so it's about 70, 75 below. Well, that's
Wow.
as far as the numbers went on the thermometer.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So, would you bring a sweater?
Or a sweater vest. Or a sweater vest is okay.
What do you wear to protect yourself against 70 below temperatures?
A lot of layers. We had a combination of, things like Gore-Tex and fleece and down with seal and caribou
my gosh.
outfits. I have these great sealskin pants that I think would be really great in a bar.
That's a lot of layers. I picture you like the kid in A Christmas Story, falling over backwards and just being stuck.
Yeah.
Are they very thick layers?
You don't always wear them all the time. I guess you were working really hard, so you don't want to sweat, and that's the idea behind the layers.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't want to sweat because it'll freeze?
Instantly. As soon as you stop, you're just a bag of ice.
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
that's terrible.
A few times, and I've done, like, I happen to have been the first woman to perform at the White House Correspondents' Dinner many, many years ago it was. And I anxiously looked through the Washington Post the following day to see what they said about it. And I was not happy to see that they wasted ink saying what I was wearing. They don't do that for guys. It was, and by the way, I was wearing a lovely outfit, but they just don't do that for guys. So when they wrote about you being the only woman on this expedition, did they say, a shapely Gore-Tex ensemble?
No, I never got quite that review, but I will tell you that they came in at one point to get the dogs out. It was a routine halfway through the trip. And one of the guys was injured, but they didn't know who because it was very hard for us to communicate in those days. It was 35 years ago. And the correspondents that were on the plane when they landed came roaring over to me, convinced it was me that was coming out because I was physically the smallest and the woman. And they came up to me, and I've got a smile from ear to ear. I'm having the time of my life. I mean, it wasn't that it wasn't hard, but I'm having a blast. And that sort of started to change the spin of what was printed. But there was a lot of hype around whether or not I'd make it.
Well, I think probably one of the reasons they came to you right away was that from a distance they could see the high heels. And I don't think...
Yeah, you had to walk backwards in heels all the way to the North Pole, right?
All the way.
I don't think that was your best choice. Okay. So people are... There's an odd isolation. You're walking in a single file. You got masks on. It's too cold to stop and chit chat, so it's a very isolated. Are there people on any expedition you've been on or that you've heard about where they kind of crack from that?
Yeah. On a couple of my other expeditions, I had a couple of women that it just wasn't their thing, and they sort of had a mental breakdown.
Oh my gosh. And what do you do about that?
You eat them. Obviously, right?
Obviously.
Back me up, Ann.
Oh, yeah. Dummy. You just sort of slap them up the face.
Really?
Yeah, snap out of it. There's no other option, is there? Because they can't go, talk to a counselor.
No, it's really hard. It's almost worse than a physical injury.
Wow.
It's hard on them too because there's so much shame involved. It's easier if you break your leg or freeze your feet or something.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard for a man to admit that he's mentally cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or anybody, I imagine, in that setting. Because the other thing is, if they went on these trips, it wasn't their first time, was it?
Well, I think that's the thing that we really try and do is do enough training trips, long ones, that we ferret out those folks that it's just not their thing and they think it is.
Yeah.
Why is it your thing? What's fun? What's fun
question.
about 70 below and 7,000 calories made from elk and all that stuff?
I'm a weird person. I started doing this. My first expedition was out in the backyard in a Minnesota winter when I was 10.
Wow.
And I can't say that I remember it being that fun, but I stuck with it.
What was it then? What did you do?
I just love the solitude, and I hate being cold, but I love being out in that cold. If you do it right, it's just an extraordinary privilege. And
If you do it right, your phlegm freezes. All right. Have you, Anne, ever felt like giving up or had words of advice to give to someone during the trip who did feel like giving up?
both. I always feel like giving up at some point on the trip, but usually a good night's sleep or your team member says something to you and cheers you up, or you open your journal and there's a picture of home in summertime or something like that. You recalibrate. Cheering up another team member is a little harder, sometimes. How to hit that right note to, my jokes aren't very good and my singing's terrible, so it's hard to bring them around sometimes.
And I am really feeling my opportunity rising here.
I know, you're totally qualified.
I mean, do you want a comedian on your team?
These things.
Yeah, I was going to say, wouldn't you want somebody like Paula there? Because she could keep everybody sane, even if she loses her mind.
Yeah, well, it's a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Losing your mind and being funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's really important to have, you got to laugh, you got to enjoy what you're doing, and you can't take yourself too seriously. It's serious stuff, but you got to just kind of go along. We laugh a lot, actually.
Oh, I would think.
I think so.
I mean, plus, I would think it's a setting where there's not a tremendous amount of dignity.
Yeah, when you're peeing in front of everybody else, there's no dignity.
Exactly. When your pee is freezing within your urethra, I would think that your guard has to be down a little bit. Now, I've done a little bit of backpacking, and I personally can spin out of control in the REI. Do you have a favorite tool or piece of clothing that you think is just brilliant, that is well worth the money that you pay for it?
We usually select our gear, and it's a hodgepodge of this, that, and the other thing that sort of works. There's not any one sort of outfit that works for the polar regions. There's just so few people that go there. They don't really make that stuff. So we tend to adapt everything that we have. Our face masks, our tents, everything's got a little bit of our touch of design.
I'm actually tearing up right now, Anne, because this gives me a chance to say something that the 2 and something years of doing this podcast I've never been able to say. So you bring a gallimaufry of equipment and gear to your trip. It means hodgepodge, Anne.
Hodgepodge.
Because I think gaiters are so great. I grew up in Massachusetts, and there's something, when the snow goes, above your boot line, or catches that little section of leg that sometimes sticks out, it's such an awful feeling. And so the idea that you put this thing on that goes over the top of your boot and the bottom of your pants and just holds it snug. Come to think of it, I want to wear those every day, even in Santa Monica.
Well, I think you're right. Gaiters are good.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
What else is good now that you bring it up is all of our snow pants we make them bibs, because there's nothing worse than leaning over and untucking. I do. Plumber's crack in the Arctic is not good.
No, because it's likely to actually crack, right?
Oh yeah.
As an OCD sufferer, I got to tell you, untucking makes my teeth jangle together just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a really good advice. Bibbed overalls.
Yeah.
So you've been to the North Pole, the South Pole, and the Ganges River.
Yeah.
Well, let me just begin with this. Are there different skills required? What did you do differently on the North Pole than you did on the South Pole? Is it basically the same place?
No, they're entirely different. The North Pole, the Arctic, is is the Arctic Ocean. So it's a surface that changes every minute. It can open up while you're sleeping or walking or whatever. It's sort of an alive
terrifying.
surface. And then when on the South Pole, at the southern hemisphere, you've got 24 hours of sunlight because you travel in summer. Temperatures are a little better, and it's 2 miles of ice cap, but there's terra firma underneath.
Oh.
So the ground
No
isn't
polar-
literally
no polar
shifting
bear?
beneath your feet.
No
Oh, no
shift-
bears.
It's a different kind of shifting. You've
Right.
got crevasses because you're on a giant glacier.
No, wait a minute. Back up. You just said no
so
polar
different
bears.
challenges.
I totally forgot to ask you what sort of wildlife you might encounter. So polar bears could come around?
In the Arctic.
Wow.
But did you run into any polar bears during your North Pole expedition? Expedition?
Expedition.
It's hard to say.
Not. Yes. Yeah. There. We had polar bears. We had wolves, white wolves. There's Arctic fox, and there's seal.
Uh-huh. Well, I wouldn't want the seals to see the pants you were wearing. That'll
And the South Pole is mostly just penguins, though, right?
Yeah, and we travel for most of the time in the interior, and all the life is on the borders, on the coast. So we don't see the penguins until the very end.
But then, did you see penguins?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love penguins.
They're fabulous.
Was Morgan Freeman up there?
I didn't see Morgan.
Because he did the narration, for the penguin movie.
He was in my head.
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah.
That voice.
It's a perfect voice for doing that. So, do you pack everything out? Like
Yep.
You don't leave stuff, right? It's not like Everest.
No, we bring everything out.
I love that.
And let me just ask, getting along with dogs is super important for these kind of expeditions, right? I mean, dogs are important to the expedition. You want to talk a little bit about that?
It's critical. So I think that's a check in Paula's column. If you can like dogs, but if you don't relate to dogs, nothing's going to happen. You can't motivate a team of 10 dogs if they don't, if they don't feel motivated by you, if you don't have a rapport. And I definitely, I tried not to have a favorite, but I did. I had this outcast dog because I felt like an outcast sometimes. And so he was my best bud. And when you're frustrated and you want to have a little cry, you just bury your frostbitten cheeks in his fur, and he never tells your secrets.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah.
Awesome.
And they probably don't make you throw tennis balls for him all the time, right?
Never.
See, that's my dog. That's my dog Mo's. One of her not so great characteristics is that she is tennis ball obsessed.
That's that golden.
Yeah. Oh, it's obnoxious. Just my whole, picking up that ball in her mouth and staring at me all the time. It doesn't matter how many times you've thrown it already.
Yeah.
Do you? What about the dogs? What'd you feed the dogs?
Well, we fed them mostly seal.
Oh,
Boy. Yeah.
again,
So
awkward when you get seal visitors.
Yeah. Well, they stay away. It's not good for polar bear, though. It does kind of attract. So if you looked on our sled, you would see all these seals, complete seals, just stacked up frozen like firewood.
Oh my!
And you pull one out, and then you chop it up and toss bits to the dog.
Wow. Well, and
All right.
I'm ready to go. So I can't thank you enough.
Well,
Well,
here we go,
I think
Paula.
you're totally fit for it.
There you go.
Paula, now that you've gotten all that information, what have you learned about being a polar explorer, and could you do that job?
Okay, house band Ansel Norris. Could I get a little background music? And I'll tell you what the Poundstonator spit out. I could be an Arctic expedition team member. I think I'd bring a lot to it. Well, that was a yummy 3,000 calorie dinner. Anybody want seconds? I'll take some more. Hey, before you head to your tents and before your food comes back up, how about if you gather around and I'll tell you some of my little jokes? I don't need an introduction. I'll just come out from behind the sled. Hello, North Pole! Thanks for coming. It's good to be here. I was pushing a sled earlier today, about 4,392 steps back. I think I got it up to 0.01 miles per hour. One of the dogs felt so sorry for me. He regurgitated his frozen seal for me to eat, and it looked good. I heard there were going to be sleds on this trip, and I thought, fantastic. I was thinking, the Olympics, right? So here I am, pushing a fucking sled, thinking, where the hell are the Jamaicans? It's a bobsled joke, sir. By the way, what do you do for a living? Oh, exhibitionist. Thank you, no. I've seen Kellyanne Conway dance. I don't need any more traumatic memories. Oh, expedition. My mistake. This isn't the only job I've ever had, I used to work at the International House of Pancakes until Trump pulled us out of there. Do you ever wake up with your face frozen to your pillow? Boy, that sucks, right? I mean, do you come out of your tent with a whole fucking pillow stuck to your face, or do you pull it off and lose part of your cheek? That my pillow guy is a seditious bastard, huh? He's probably one of the few people on the earth that were better human beings when they were on crack. And those lame commercials? I developed the My Pillow for 2 years. Really? 2 years? Were you working 8-hour days? It's foamy shit in a cloth bag. What did you try to put in the bag? Pine cones? Gerbils? Shredded Constitution? Well, I guess my time is up. If you liked the show, I'm going to be about 9,052 steps away in that direction tomorrow night. Thanks for coming. Count your toes and try to keep them. Good night. Ah, shit. My berries, lard, and unfamiliar meat is frozen.
All right, well, Paula, I'm not sure that's going to take you as far as the North Pole, so your job search may have to continue, but Ann Bancroft is one of the world's preeminent polar explorers and an internationally recognized leader who is dedicated to inspiring women and girls around the world to unleash the power of their dreams. Thank you, Ann Bancroft, so much for coming on our show.
Thank you so much
Thanks,
for having
Ann.
me.
You were wonderful.
It was an honor.
Thank you very much.
Coming up, the Department of Correction. We're only human, and our listeners have caught us in several factual errors. We'll get out the red pencils and make those corrections when we return on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. Only 8% of New Year's resolutions survive the whole year. Those are long odds for a lot of important goals, like, say, eating healthier. This year, we're still at the beginning of the year. You deserve a little help in the healthy eating resolution department, and that's why there's Kenko.
Kenko makes seriously nutritious smoothies for seriously busy people. Expensive store-bought smoothies are sugar-packed calorie bombs, and fresh-pressed juices have way less fiber.
Kenko's breakfast smoothies are only made from organic whole fruits and vegetables, flash frozen and slow dried to lock in all the fiber and nutrients. Nothing added and no fiber taken out. Kenko smoothies are easy to make. No blender, no juicer, no kitchen even. Pour the Kenko packet into water or your favorite milk, shake it up, and take on the day.
Go to Kenko.com, take their quick nutrition quiz, and fill your flexible monthly order with your choice of 15 functional flavors that match your goals and taste. Each Kenko smoothie costs less than $3 and packs half the daily fruits and vegetables you need to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers.
Now, I like them partly because they're all kind of color-coded. And one of the ones that's really cool is the Crimsons, which is acai, banana, strawberry, mango, chia seeds, and cinnamon. It tastes delicious. It is the Brain Boost one. And, well, I'm pretty bright, right?
Did you just say acai?
I did. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right.
No, I think the drink is doing it for you. That's how it's pronounced.
Oh,
Acai.
wow. It must be working.
Start creating healthy habits right now. Go to kinko.com/Paula. Pick out your flexible monthly plan, and the first 100 listeners, it's like the 100th caller contest. The first 100 listeners will get 25% off your first order. That's kinko.com/Paula and get 25% off, but only if you're one of the first 100.
You love this show. We love you. So get this special deal, 25% off for the first 100 listeners at Kenko, KENCKO.com/Paula. Do it now before some other nobody edges you out.
Acai.
Fun fact, legally, the Queen owns all the swans in England, but she hardly ever cleans up after them. And we're back, and Paula, it is that time. It is time for the Department of Corrections.
I just can't take it personally. That's the key.
And you know what? That's going to be the key for me, too. You and I are both tend to get a little, we get our shirts up a little bit. I don't know why we do this segment, because we both tend to get kind of mad when people correct us. But
yeah, I can sometimes. I do. I get my hackles up.
Yeah, your hackles. I can see that. Back when we recorded in person, I would see them standing on the back of your neck, those hackles.
Oh, my gosh. There were times we had to take a break just so I could send the hackles out onto Miranda Street.
Just to cool off a little bit. Get outside, hackles. Well, we always try to be absolutely accurate when we report facts on the show, but sometimes things slip through the cracks, and fortunately, because they're NPR listeners largely, nobodies from around the world are ready to correct us. Tony and Idaho, can you tell us what the Department of Corrections has uncovered?
I sure can, Adam Felber. So in episode number 135, we described white nose syndrome, an emergent disease of hibernating bats that has spread at an alarming rate in the US and Canada as a virus. Now, Rebecca Shea, a PhD student at Michigan State, wrote and said, not to be that person, but white nose syndrome is a fungus, not a virus. It made me just a little sad as a mycologist listening this morning.
A mycologist?
I don't know what that is.
Tony?
I'm guessing a mycologist studies fungus, because just from context, but I do not know that for a fact.
That is correct. It is someone who works with fungi.
I remember this. I remember this whole incident at the time. Because I kept saying after we were stopped recording, I kept saying, I'm pretty sure that white nose syndrome is a fungus. And you guys just wouldn't listen.
Right.
Yeah,
I was so sarcastic at you. Paula, I have to own this one because I was really sarcastic. I was like, thank you, mycologist.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yes. You sure know a lot about funguses. Why don't you go back to mycology school? I remember saying that.
Yeah, it was hurtful, and so I just gave it up. I thought, what's more important here, our friendship, or me being right about white nose syndrome? Which, by the way, Adam, I think earlier you referred to as white noise syndrome, and that's going to come back to bite us.
That. We're going to re-record that. Nobody will ever know that I said white noise syndrome.
No, you're just teeing us up for our next Department of Corrections episode.
Well, I think you just saved me a retake, Paula, so I've got that going for me.
It's like quicksand. The more you struggle, the worse it gets. Here we try to clear up that
I know.
The white nose syndrome is not a virus, for heaven's sakes, and what
Sure.
kind of boob would think it was, but a fungus, of course. And in the very clearing up of that mistake, we make another mistake. Oh, my gosh.
All right. Well, Tony, thanks for that one. And, of course, thank you to Rebecca Shea, and I hope you get that PhD. But,
Yeah,
Tony, let's get
sorry
another
about that
one.
mistake, Rebecca.
We're very sorry.
Sorry, Dr. Shea. Okay, so in episode 131, Bonnie noted
She's
that
not a
Yale
doctor
University...
yet, Tony. I'm sorry I had to cut you off, but Rebecca's not a doctor yet, and you just called her doctor, and some doctor is going to write in and get on our ass for that.
Oh my God! It's going to be
shit.
quicksand again. We're just going to keep going down the going down the tube on this correcting. Okay.
It's a disastrous segment. Go ahead, Tony. What else?
In episode 131, Bonnie noted that Yale University's coat of arms featured an open book inscribed in Hebrew that roughly translate as light and truth, the school motto. She thought that was ironic because until the 1960s, there was an unwritten law among Ivy League schools that Jewish enrollment would be less than 10%. Now, our friend Brian McCafferty wrote us saying, Bonnie, Yale was a divinity school. Gotta know Hebrew to read the book in the original language.
Whoa.
Okay.
So this is going to sound silly, but the Bible was originally in Hebrew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because
What did you
they
think
were all
it was
Jewish.
in? Yeah, everybody
Because-
was Jewish back then. Everybody you
boy.
talked to back in the Holy Land was Jewish. No, it's not actually true at all. But
You know what? It must have been so much more fun.
what, having all those Jews around?
Yeah, when everybody was Jewish. Yeah. Before there
I
were
think there's
these
a lot.
I could be screwing up history here, but before there were these
You are.
breakaway factions. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I would have
Right.
followed Brian if I had my choice. I would have followed Brian.
Oh, from Life of Brian or Brian McCafferty
Yes.
who wrote in about
No,
this?
Life of Brian.
Sorry, Mr. McCafferty. But here's my question, and I think this is a good question, or it might be a stupid question. But Tony, what are we actually correcting here?
The
Because I don't
irony-
think Bonnie said anything wrong. She just said it was ironic that there would be Hebrew on the coat of arms of a school that didn't allow that many Jews.
No, I think it's a correction because Bonnie was saying that the Bible was written in the Jewish language, and Brian is saying that the Bible was written in the Jewish language. Do you see what I'm saying?
I think so.
There
You're saying
was
that
a
the Bible
different-
is in the Jewish language, not the Jewy language.
No. Jewish and Jewish. I think that
What's the
All right,
difference?
There
I
is
think
none.
that Bonnie thought that although it may have been written in Hebrew in the beginning, she thought that it was translated into English and then put in Hebrew on the what do you call it? On the coat of arms, right?
Okay,
That it
this
was
is obviously
translated
going
to
to
English.
spawn. This is obviously going to spawn so many more corrections from our listeners. This whole
Oh
discussion.
my God.
No, I don't think so.
I
Because
can hear the emails coming in about it right
They're
now.
ding ding.
no, because when a historian like myself speaks on something like this, it clears so much up.
Yeah, I think your distinction between Jewish and Jewish is going to hold a lot of water with our listeners.
Yeah, I do.
Well-
I do. I think that he thought that Bonnie thought that it was translated to English, and then they took the English and they put it in Hebrew on the coat of arms,
Sure.
No.
right? Oh no,
I feel a desperate need to move on from this one.
God, we're going to get
know what?
so many letters.
it's a subtle distinction. What-
I love that you're siding with Brian McCafferty on this. All right,
I
Tony,
think-
step
no,
on it.
I think you're wrong about that. We're gonna get some letters and some letters. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Tony, please read us another one.
Okay, here we go. This is from Thomas Dean, who also had a note for Bonnie about the discussion of Moby Dick. Hey, Captain Crinkle, how could D.H. Lawrence and William Faulkner have influenced Herman Melville? Lawrence was 6 years old when Melville died in 1891, and Moby Dick was published in 1851, and Faulkner was born 6 years after Melville died. Maybe they were all caught in a black hole where time didn't exist?
Ooh, this is dripping in sarcasm.
That turned snippy. Yeah.
Okay, in the part about D.H. Lawrence, this is just proof that you can teach an old dog new tricks. So even though D.H. Lawrence was only 6 years old, Melville heard something he said, maybe when he was, playing with a hoop and a stick outside of his house or something. And then Melville used that in his own prose. That's what I think. And I really applaud the guy for, being a lifelong learner.
Yeah. Yeah. That kid with the hoop and the stick, he's got something. Hey, maybe I'll write a book about a whale.
Yeah. And by the way, we're not talking about D.H. Lawrence. We're talking about D.H. Lawrence.
Another important distinction. Absolutely right.
Yeah. Only because of COVID have I not been able to get together with the Association of Historians recently. But I'll tell you, the last time we did, me and Michael Beschloss got into like a knockdown dragout.
About that? About distinctions like that?
No, just about history,
Oh, yeah, history in general.
We just had a disagreement about history. And, oh, my gosh.
Well, you once punched Walter Isaacson, right?
You know what? He had it coming. That's my feeling about, and he acts like he's such a man of letters. The guy's got a glass chin. All right, so
all right, let's
what else
move it
we
on.
got, Tony?
Tony, what else you got?
So I posted on our Facebook page a note that actually is a picture that Paula sent me. And it was this beautiful origami version of the two of you from a nobody named Arlo. So it was a watercolor painting with the title of the show. And Adam and Paula were done in folded paper figures. But
Beautiful.
Dominic Sloniowski, maybe, wrote in with this correction. I'm sure he'll correct me on his name as well. Just an FYI, this isn't origami. Origami has strict rules, which this doesn't follow. For example, you cannot cut paper in origami.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the art of folding.
I'm not sure that, no, I have it right in my hand now, and I believe it is folded, but it's my mistake. Because Arlo, I spelled it wrong. It's origami.
Oh.
So we're both right. So thank you, Dominic. I didn't know there were strict rules to origami. But
you were talking about origami anyway.
Yeah, I was talking about origami. And apparently within the strict rules of origami, if you cut the paper, you can actually be put inside a paper folded prison.
Right. Cunningly
very hard to
folded
get out
prison.
of.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to
very
compliment
hard,
you, Paula, and me, because we have not yelled at any of our listeners during this segment so far. And we usually get, our hackles get up, but that hasn't happened.
Yeah, that's because I didn't say this yet. All right, Dominic, you fuckwad. Look it was just a picture, for God's sakes.
Yeah, now...
Yeah,
now, I'm sorry I brought that up. I probably should have kept you from calling a listener a fuckwad.
No, he's absolutely right. There's strict... I didn't know there were strict rules of origami. And now I just feel like a sham.
But anyway. I don't think Dominic was correcting you. Tony, if I'm not wrong, Dominic was correcting you.
Yeah.
No, I sent it to Tony, and I told her it was an origami by a guy named Arlo. And it was lovely, and it was fun, and it was very sweet of him. And so, Dominic, you of course you are not a fuckwad. I take that all back. And thank you for the correction. And Arlo, thanks so much for the picture. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like we probably, as long as we're going to continue doing Departments of Corrections, we should add, in the weeks following the Department of Corrections, the Department of Apologies. Tony, do you have any others?
We have one more, and this is for you, Mr. Felber. One of our house
I'll take it. I'll take it well.
One of our house bands, Jay Clannon, lives in Berthoud, Colorado. I think that's how you say it, because Paula pronounced it incorrectly.
Yeah, it was for Paula.
Oh, I thought it was a cat of the week. My bad. Even though it says one of our house bands. But S.J. Weigel wrote in to say it's pronounced Berthoud, Colorado. I think you said Berthoud, maybe.
Yeah.
Tony,
Okay,
it's pronounced
so
it's pronounced Wagel. S.J. Wagel.
It's Weigel. And let me just say this. There are two places in Colorado. One is Berthoud and one is Berthoud. And I was referring to Berthoud, Mr. Weigel, Mr. Weigel.
Yeah, yes, S.J., maybe you want to drop by Berthoud someday. Look around, maybe you'll learn something, huh?
Yeah. In fact, there's a statue to S.J. Weigel in Berthoud. But of course,
But you would never know about it,
would
S.J.,
you?
because you spend all your time in Berthoud.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and we don't even know that that's. I don't know if that's S.J. or S. It just depends. It depends.
Right.
Pronunciation can be very difficult, which is why Yale.
Maybe he should back the fuck off, right?
I think it's a woman.
Yeah, maybe she should back the fuck off then. Telling Paula Poundstone she don't know the difference between Berthoud and Berthoud?
There's two places. I mean, why
Two
would
places.
anybody think there was? You know, there's plenty of places to go around.
That's
you
my
don't
point.
Just have to have. You don't just have to have Berthoud. And by the way, who the hell wants to live in Berthoud? That's a ridiculous name.
No, I
Berthoud.
once accidentally booked a B&B in Berthoud because I thought it was Berthoud.
Oh man, that's frustrating. That's not unlike the Four Seasons lawn place or whatever it was. What was
Exactly.
the name of that
Was
place?
it Four Seasons Total Landscaping?
Yeah, not unlike that. Yeah.
It was not unlike that because I thought I was going to be right near the Yard Ornament Museum, and I wasn't because that's in Berthoud.
Yeah.
Not,
You know,
and I was in Berthoud.
Berthoud, it sounds like a skydiving accident.
It does. Or a skydiving accident sounds like Berthoud.
Yeah, I think I think their high school team name is the Berthoud Jumpers.
Yeah, the jumpers, and it's
yeah.
it's an amusing cartoon of a mascot hitting the ground at velocity.
Yeah, it's just I don't think they thought it out.
No.
So many of our town names just came from like towns. Well, not by the time you get to Colorado, I don't think. But you know, so many towns in New England, of course, are just the name of towns from England. They weren't real creative when they came over.
No. But by the time they got out to Colorado, it was things like just what was happening when people found a place, like
Yeah.
Zeke's Tired, Colorado.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, look up there, Berthoud.
That actually does remind me that when Wait Don't Tell Me would do Salt Lake City, sometimes I would visit This Is the Place State Park. Have you been there, Paula?
No.
It is literally called This Is the Place State Park because as the Mormons fled across the country on their way to the Pacific, I guess Brigham Young got really tired, looked out of his carriage, and said, "Oh my God, he's tired, he's sick." He's like, "Just stop. This is the place."
Oh wow!
And that's
Boy,
how they
can
found
name
Salt
'em.
Lake City. Yeah, and that's some fuel for our future Department of Corrections, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody's gonna. I'm glad they didn't name a lot of children then. Because most kids would be named. Oh, it's you. Or well, would you look at that?
Look what came out of me.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God that's over. That would be a big girl's name. Thank God that's over. Whew, I'm not doing that again. That's a beautiful name.
Have you met my son, Maximum Dilation?
You touch me again, I'm cutting it off. That's it's a long name, but but a beautiful one. A beautiful one.
Oh, it's a beautiful name, especially in the original language, in the original Greek. Tony, Anita Hall, thank you so much for our Department of Corrections. Bonnie Burns, do you want to sing our Department of Corrections theme song to get us out of this segment?
Yeah, I can do that, but I have one correction.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Well, I was thinking about the D.H. Lawrence, Faulkner thing, and it turns out, okay, so I didn't read the thing like I was paying that much attention when I was looking up information on Herman Melville. And what it is, D.H. Lawrence and Faulkner were influenced by Melville. He wasn't influenced by them. And now I'll go into what do you want? The theme song? The ending thing? Yeah. Department of Corrections ending theme song. Da 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 da.
Whoa, that is powerful.
I think it's just lovely.
I think for anybody who's thinking of taking Professor Burns' course on Melville, I think there's every reason to reconsider.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Paula, what's going on in the Poundstone product empire this week?
Oh, I'm so glad. I know a lot of people are kicking themselves for not getting their cat a Poundstone pussy pillow for President's Day. But I have two pieces of very good news. Number one, the 4-inch by 5-inch catnip-filled pillows with a cat joke on one side and an autograph to your cat on the other are still available. And two, cats refuse to read a calendar. Go to the store at paulapoundstone.com. You can also find my book, The Totally Unscientific Study of the Search for Human Happiness, in paperback, and the audio version on CD, on which I am the reader alouder. That's paulapoundstone.com. Click around on fun stuff, including the store.
All right. And also you can subscribe to this podcast. It is free. You get it at no charge every week. Just hit that little button. And if there is a subject or topic that you'd like to know more about, tell us. We're always curious. And let us know at nobodylistens-to-Paula-Poundstone@gmail.com. Once again, that's nobodylistens-to-Paula-Poundstone@gmail.com. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone is hosted by Paula Poundstone and yours truly, Adam L. Felber. Special thanks to our guest, Ann Bancroft. She was amazing. And thanks to our amazing house band, Ansel Norris. Our show is produced by Paula Poundstone. Yeah! Adam Felber, Bonnie Burns, Ken Lezebnik, and Tony Anita Hall. Mixing by Michael Hoagie. Starburns production by the inimitable Land Romo. Transcription services for the show are provided by Transcribe Me, a premier internationally used transcription service. Use code Paula Poundstone when placing your order at transcribeme.com to receive an expedited service.
That's our show for tonight. Won't somebody please listen to me? Man,
I'm going to book a trip to Berthoud.
Oh, yeah. Berthoud. The rules for origami are so strict.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. I don't tell anybody, but I have broken the rules before.
No. Not on that swan you gave me for my birthday.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell.
Paula, you didn't cut that swan with the scissors, did you?
I used a razor. I used an X-Acto knife.
You can't do that. That's against the rules of origami. Are you crazy?
We are gonna get in so much.
You could have the origami police on your ass, Paula.
And you know what they do? They fold you right in half.
I know, and now you put me at risk because you sent me an origami swan. I have the swan.
You know what? Throw the swan out the window.
Wait, there's a car in front of my house. I can't get anywhere near the swan. Oh, shit. It's a folded paper car.
That's them. That's them.
Paula, you gotta get over here. Tell them you made it.
Okay. You know,
I don't want to die. I don't want to be folded.
get some scissors. That's the only way to protect yourself. And a match. Get some scissors and a match.
Okay.
They're folded cops. They're paper folded cops.
Oh, that's right.
Do you have a shredder?
I do. I'm putting it in the doorway.
Get the shredder.
Here we go. The shredder's in the doorway. Ready? Come in. All right, problem solved. Thanks, Paula.
Starbane's Audio.
A podcast network.
Stereo is a free live broadcast social platform that enables people to have real conversations in real time. Listen to this. This is a clip from an earlier Stereo conversation between me and Adam Felber and our listeners.
Alberta, you're on the line.
My prediction for 2021 is fucking zombies.
Wow.
Really?
Now, I'm going to ask for clarification here, because are you predicting that there's going to be zombies? Fucking zombies? Or are you predicting that people are going to be fucking zombies?
That's what it sounded like. And I thought to myself, I've really never lusted after a zombie before. But we could go each other. That I'm not going to fuck a zombie, but I'd be happy to chat. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone is excited to offer our listeners a new way to interact with us.
To find out about the day and time, you can download the Stereo app and follow me or Paula. That's at Paula Poundstone or at Adam Felber once you download the app. Or keep an eye on our Facebook page or our Twitter feeds, and you'll know when the next show is coming up.
On the Facebook page or the Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone website, right?
That's exactly right. Go to www.stereo.com/@Paula Poundstone @Adam Felber, and then you can get started, and you'll be taken right to our pages. Remember, Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. We're having live audience interactive episodes on Stereo pretty much once a week now. So join us.